In today's lesson, we're going to continue discussing the halachas involved in Tkiyas Shofar. The Alter Rebbe writes in the Siddur that after Kriyas HaTorah, prior to the actual procedure of the blowing, one is to prepare himself for the blowing of the shofar. In the lashon of the Alter Rebbe, Yochin atzmei l'tkoyeh b'shofar. In what way is a Jew supposed to prepare himself prior to Tkiyas Shofar? How does he fulfill this directive of the Alter Rebbe in the Siddur? So, the Rebbe has a sikha in the Kutei Sichos Chelik Lametes, Parshas Vayelech, discussing this issue. And the Rebbe says that each person is to think about matters that spiritually arouse himself, each person on his own level in accordance to his nature. As the entire idea of Tkiyas Shofar, as we discussed in the introductory lesson yesterday, is the idea of the Tza'aka Pnimis, the inner cry of the Jewish soul. And the Rebbe novelizes that it is not enough for the Baal Tikeya, for the blower, to have high and spiritual intent and kavanis during his blowing. Every and each individual Jew, man and woman, must themselves personally have this in mind as well. And this negates those that want to interpret the lashon in the Siddur, Yochin atzmei, that it's going only on the Baal Tikeya, and rather it's going on each Jew. So each person should think of matters that arouse his spiritual core during the break that is taken before they commence the blowing. In another sikha, the Rebbe said and stated in the following lashon, the Sichos Kodesh 1971, Tafshin Lamed Aleph, the Rebbe stated as follows: some people are aroused through learning Ketzer Shem Tov, some are aroused through Shulchan Aruch HaArizal, others from Sifrei Poland, and others from Mati Ephraim. But the idea is that each person follows whatever arouses them. The Shara Koilel, in his commentary on this part of the Siddur, states that the preparation is the statement, is the saying of Vamatzeach Livnei Korach Mizmor, which is recited 7 times prior to commencing the Tkiyas. On a deeper level, the Rebbe states that at this time, prior to Tkiyas Shofar, is a time for every Jew to resolve his acceptance of the heavenly yoke, Kabbalah Sol Malchus Shamayim, which is the primary ingredient necessary to effect a coronation of Hashem. In HaMelech B'Mesiba, it's recorded that the Rebbe himself, the Rebbeim themselves, would prepare for this occasion through singing a nigun. And the Rebbe is recorded to have sung the nigun of Gimel Tnuas to himself during this preparatory time. And from this you can say became mishtalshel, evolved the custom in many shuls today of Chabad to sing the Nagunim of the Rebbeim prior to Tkiyas Shofar. What's certain is that Nagunim certainly have a power to affect arousal of emotion, and it certainly fulfills the statement of Alter Rebbe, Yochin atzmei l'tkoyeh b'shofar. Regarding how many blows is one obligated to hear? So from biblical law, meaning from a very technical biblical perspective, one is only obligated to hear 9 sounds: a tkiyah, a trua, and a tkiyah. This is brought in chapter 590 and is based on the Gemara Rosh Hashanah that we learn through Hekation, through juxtapositions with different verses of Yovel and Rosh Hashanah, that only 9 sounds must be sounded, a tkiyah and a trua and a tkiyah 3 times. However, throughout the generations, it became questioned as what in truth is the correct trua sound. Is the correct trua sound what we know of today as the shvarim, which is 2, 2, 2? Or is it what we know of today as the trua, which is short sounds of 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2? Or is it both sounds combined, which is known as today as the shvarim trua? Because of this question and this doubt, the Chachamim, Chazal, were keveya, that one must hear 3 sets of each possibility of the Trua, which means one has to hear 3 sets of Tekiya Shvarim Trua Tekiya, 3 sets of Tekiya Shvarim Tekiya, and 3 sets of Tekiya Trua Tekiya, for a total sum of 30 sounds. So when a person is asked how many sounds must he biblically hear today, the answer is 30 sounds, 3 sets of each Tashrat, Tashat, and Tarat, due to the question and doubt that aroused over the generations of what is in truth the correct Trua. To note that this follows the ruling of the Alter Rebbe and the Shulchan Aruch and of many other poskim. However, the Ar Poskim, also recorded in the Alter Rebbe in chapter 592 Halacha 4, that hold in truth any one of these sounds is a valid Trua. And it is only in the Rabbanon issue to sound all the possibilities of the Trua. But Min HaTorah, even today they say a person is Yaitse so long as he sounds 3 sets of Tekiya Shvarim Trua, of Tekiya, Trua Tekiya, in any one of the variations that we know. L'maisa, practically we do not rule like this opinion, and therefore when hearing Shofar, such as when hearing Shofar at home, or when coming to shul to hear Shofar, or if one arrived in the middle of Tekiya Shofar, they must make sure to hear a total of 30 sounds, which include within those 30 3 sets of Tashrat, 3 sets of Tashat, and 3 sets of Tarat. In addition to this amount of sounds, the Chachamim also established that one should sound the Shofar during Musaf, which is something which the Mir Hashem will discuss in greater length in a different lesson. But because of this, besides for the blows that we blow before Musaf after Tekiya Satayr, which is 30 sounds as we explained, we also blow another set of blows during Musaf. In addition, we also blow the Shofar after Musaf. Various reasons are given behind why we blow Shofar after Musaf. Mir Hashem will discuss in greater length at a later lesson. But in total, the Chabad custom is to blow throughout the Shachris prayer and Musaf at the end of the morning prayer. 130 blows are sounded. 30 after Kriyas HaTorah, 30 by the silent prayer of Musaf, 30 by the repetition of Musaf, 10 within Kaddish after Musaf, and 30 at the conclusion of davening. Regarding blowing on Riftzayim, so being that we stated the minimum amount of blows that are necessary to be heard is 30 blows to be Yaitse according to all the possibilities of the Trua. Therefore, on Riftzayim or whenever blowing for a Jew that didn't hear Shofar, one should blow, and one must blow 30 sounds. There are other poskim that are lenient to allow in a time of need 10 sounds to be blown without a bracha. And there are Rabbanim amongst Tanash that even say that one may lichatchila, if he's blowing for a lot of people, blow a set of Tekiya, Shvarim Trua Tekiya 3 times, and have in mind a specific T'nai during this blowing, which makes it halachically valid as if one is blowing all 30 sounds. We will not go into in this lesson the details of this T'nai, but obviously whoever doesn't understand the T'nai, the condition, and the meaning behind it is not able to follow this advice. Furthermore, many Rabbanim do not accept this advice even initially, and they claim that one must follow the custom of blowing 30 sounds when blowing on the Tzayim. Each person should ask the rabbinical authority in how they should act when they are blowing for a lot of people and may not be able to blow for each set group 30 sounds. Today is Tesvav Elul, the 15th of Elul, and marks the same date that the Rebbe Rashab